Now, for a more detailed response to this story, I'm joined now by the Democratic Alliance's spokesperson, that's Willie Aucamp, who joins us now. Willie, thank you so much for the time, really appreciate it. The saying goes, you're innocent until proven guilty, but the other saying is, where there's smoke, there's usually fire. Where's the smoke coming from?
Arabile, good afternoon. There's another saying, if you've got egg on your face and you don't wash it, you will have egg on your face the whole time. And I think this is exactly what's happening with the EFF here. They are trying to stay relevant. It's a party in total decline, and they are grasping at anything that they can get. That person that spoke there now referred to an email. Now, let me read that email to you, and let me give you the background of that email. Minister Macpherson, in his capacity as minister, received an email from the presidency asking about a payment that's overdue to a contractor for more than 20 months. So an email from the presidency. Minister Macpherson then wrote the following on the 9th of December, and I'm going to read that to you. Good day, and he mentions the name. You will appreciate that I don't normally get involved in matters like this, but it appears that commitments have not been executed, and now I am being dragged into this matter. Can I please receive an urgent report on why IDT has not done this and resolve this matter despite assurances this would be done? That is the email. So what we've got here is we've got a minister that received an inquiry from the presidency, and the minister is saying that give me a report. He's not putting undue pressure on anybody. He's just doing his work. So now the EFF wants everybody else to believe that that email, which I have just read, is now making the minister complicit in putting undue pressure to get a payment done and getting involved in tenders. It's utter nonsense. The EFF has got egg on their faces. I saw recently that Action SA also came out and supported this. Now we know that Action SA has become the voice of the EFF and their cronies, but be that as it may, what we've got here is we've got a minister who is doing his job, a minister who is fighting against corruption, and unfortunately there's a lot of people that are trying to fight back. You can imagine what we are talking about here is an 800 million rand investigation that the minister has today launched the forensic investigation of it into a contract for the supply of oxygen that was totally irregularly done. So the moment that you are talking about 800 million rand on the table and people that got benefit out of that, people will do funny things. And as you said in your introduction, the Democratic Alliance will definitely not get deterred. We want to compliment and thank Minister Dean Macpherson and other ministers as well for the immense fight that they are putting up to stop corruption in this country. So if you look at the timing of this, Willie, it's very, very significant.
Willie, then what about a thorough investigation to this nonetheless, despite what is being said, in order to clear the name, to clear the messaging that has been put forward? What about the thoughts of putting forward a clear and thorough investigation in this regard? That's one. Two, very quickly as well, why is the Democratic Alliance responding to this and not necessarily the Department of Public Works and Infrastructure spokesperson at the very least, Mr. James de Villiers?
Well, on the first question, I think any investigation into any matter that there's controversy about would always be welcomed. I think that that will be a very short investigation in this matter because I've read you the email. I've told you what's going on here. I think the investigation into the irregular awarding of the tenders of more than 800 million rand will take a bit longer. But that is why Minister Dean Macpherson instituted those investigations so that we can get to the bottom of this. On your second question, I am the spokesperson of the Democratic Alliance. Dean Macpherson is a member of the Democratic Alliance, and we have been approached by the media, like you, to give you answers on that. Now, I'm speaking to you on behalf of the Democratic Alliance, a party that is known for and has proven over many years that is fighting corruption, that where we govern good. And where we've got ministers in place like this with Minister Dean Macpherson, he's a very good minister. So that is why we are answering you. You maybe also approach the department that Minister Macpherson is responsible for and get their opinion on this or their comment on this. But I'm speaking to you on behalf of the Democratic Alliance, of which Minister Macpherson is a member.
Yeah, Willie, I'm just looking at as well the department's handle then on X, of course, formerly known as Twitter, just with regards to any of this. And of course, 3 hours ago, they did put forward a statement, but this was really with welcoming the department's appointment of PwC to investigate the circumstances surrounding an 800 million oxygen plant tender, which of course is the one that the EFF feels as though the minister has actually interfered in. Is this to say, however, that you're saying and you're contending ultimately that Mr. Macpherson ultimately, in investigating one thing, is incapable then of having corruption being laid against him in this regard, or because there's just a smear campaign against him, that there really is no basis here and that the minister himself is incapable of having corruption?
I think anybody is capable of doing anything, but we've got to look at the facts. It is very suspicious that these allegations come just as Mr. Macpherson is exposing, investigating and stopping the serious corruption that includes this 800 million rand tender. So I think we've got to look at the timing. I think if you look at the email that I've read to you in the beginning of this interview, it is clear that the evidence that the EFF is basing their opinion on is an absolute nothing. It's an email of a minister in question to the presidency that he wrote to a lot of his employees in his department.
Willie, I'm so sorry. We just have the king actually speaking then in KZN. Just a very final question. Will you be instituting any formal action against the EFF or anybody else at this time? Just a quick yes or no?
Well, we've got to look into that. I think they got egg on their faces and they shoot themselves in the foot here. We will look into what we can do. And I think it's up to Minister Dean Macpherson, who is personally attacked here, that will decide for himself what to do here.
All right. Thank you so much for the time, though.
We will always keep on fighting corruption. Thank you.
DA spokesperson Willie Aucamp, thank you so much for the time and giving us that sense of where things stand as well and how the DA, of course, feels with regards to all those allegations being laid against Minister Dean Macpherson and Public Works and Infrastructure there.